Puts the man in motion. Again dips to Johnson, and he gets down close. Looks like he's about a half yard short. Ball inside the 1. Johnson again. Yep. This time he is hit by Jack Reynolds and knocked backwards, if you can believe that. 11th play in this drive coming up. Anderson will look and throw. Alexander does not get in. They give him a shot there, I don't know. The 49ers don't think he made it. Who's on the bottom of that pile? Jack Reynolds again, number 64. That's a team effort for San Francisco's defense.
Craig Patterson's way to the goal line. He goes in for a 49er touchdown. And the 49ers are leaving the Miami Dolphins far to the rear now.
Rice has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana. Touchdown, John Taylor.
This is complete domination. The 49er offense has beaten the Denver Bronco defense every way.
From the 44, they fake it to Floyd. Young to the air, Young to Jerry Rice. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Well, that's quite a statement their defense made to handle the middle of the football field. And Frank, I have dumbfounded as to what they're doing.
Good move to the outside on Carrington.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Niner Faithful. I know everyone is having a legendary day. Was cracking people up. Go Niners, baby. Um, well, I should have said that. Like that seems kind of a little presumptuous of me just to assume everyone is having a legendary day. Um, I would assume y'all are having a legendary day. Anyway, we got Jason waiting in a little bit about some deadlines for some contracts that are coming up for roster bonuses and things of that nature. I think where the Niners see this season going. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. Crazy Juice, what's cracking, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for hopping on. So we're going to go ahead and we'll play the intro and we'll get the show cracking, yo.
Rice has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana. Touchdown, John Taylor.
You're tuned into Niner Faithful Radio, the show hosted for the faithful, by the faithful.
What's cracking, Jason? What's cracking,
Hello,
Captain?
faithful. How's everybody going on?
You know, as I always say, Brad, another day, another dollar.
You must have got a raise.
Yeah, somewhat. So yeah, I was telling Jason that's a little bit. We got chopping it up a little bit about a couple different things in the green room. You know, sometimes you know what we wish y'all could see these conversations that happen in the green room because I ain't gonna lie, sometimes these conversations that we have in the green room be better than the conversations we have on air. A lot less filtered.
Hey man, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. There you go, baby. So anyway, we got some contracts that I thought were. I'll go ahead and pull it up right now. There's a reason I sent it. Your Gross Montos, who honestly, I was like, not oh my god, Jason, book your ticket. We got Euros Gross Montos, on the roster. But I thought was fine for what he is, a depth defensive line rotation piece. He's got a April 1st, $3 million roster. Demo Lenore, something tells me that Demo will be getting that bonus. Colton McKivitz, which nobody's talking about this when it comes to Colton McKivitz this offseason, but does he just play out the last year of his deal? Oh, great. Okay, Jason said his PC decided to restart. So we'll go ahead and we'll just take Jason off for a second and everything like that, and we'll wait for him to come back. He just messaged me. But yeah, that's just something that it's like, is it a guarantee that he just plays out the last year of his deal? I just saw somewhere on Twitter somebody was talking about their top 5 now included Membu, Aiyuk. Look, gun to their head, do I think the Niners would love to trade BA? I do. I do think the Niners would love to trade BA. Do I think it's going to happen? David was good, brother. Yeah, Jason will be back in a second. Matter of fact, I think he just popped on right now, or somebody did. Yeah, okay, there he is. Kenny says, "Bye, Aiyuk." Jason, gun to the Niners' head, they would love to trade BA, right?
Well, what have I been saying this whole time? That what is best for the Niners this year versus what is best for the Niners in 2026 may not necessarily be BA. You know, we don't know when he's coming back. We don't know what kind of shape he's going to get, what kind of shape he's going to be in when he gets back. So if you told me we could, trade BA for a fourth, third, fifth, whatever, for someone we knew was going to contribute from day one on this roster, I'm almost for it. It helps this team this year more than the unknown of what BA is going to be.
Okay, David, stop trolling. Stop trolling for Kivitz will be cheap to extend like $20 million a season. Man, stop trolling. I mean, realistically, after Jalen Moore got 15 a year,
he might get 35.
Okay. Okay, fine, but stop trolling us, bro. David, you're trolling. You're trolling if you think we're about to pay Colt McKivitz $20 million a year. Yeah, no, that's not happening. So that's just kind of my question when you were handling that was, do you think McKivitz just kind of, and everybody's been talking about the Brock, which rightfully so, when you're about to, regardless of, look, I would have to think Nick Bosa. I'm me, Jason. I'm not contract genius, memory person. But the Niners are about to give out one of the biggest contracts that they ever gave out in their history. To Brock Purdy this season. A good chance, right? I think that we all wouldn't be shocked. Whether you think that they should or not, different conversation. But the Niners very much, it's likely scenario. The Niners hand out, if not the biggest, one of the biggest contracts in their franchise history. So I understand right
NFL
tackle
history. It's
in
NFL
history.
Probably a top 5.
Look, I understand that let's be real, at best is replay. It's not our highest priority, but I think everybody's not talking about that. Like, so what happens if McKivitz holds out? I mean, whatever, might be the Niners might be lucky about that one. I don't think he's going to hold out into the season, but if the Niners don't dress the O-line, which we'll start getting, bring y'all our O-line draft preview. That'll start next month. We'll be doing offense on Tuesday and defense on Fridays. But so if the Niners don't adjust in the draft, kind of has them by the balls, Jason.
We'll see. And like I said, he's more than serviceable. If he would have left this year, he would have got that Aaron Banks type money. Again, I know everybody wants to dog on McKivitz left and right, but when you're literally going against the other team's arguably player every single down, almost every game, of course you're not going to look as good as someone who's Hall of Fame bound like Trent Williams. There's just no way you're going to hold up to that standard. But if you look at him as the overall, he's not bad.
No, I mean, I think, and look, I'm the most guilty person of this ever, but people get caught up in Ninerness and don't. What I hear from people who watch football, who are like, what do I say about myself all the time, Jason? I'm not a football fan. I'm a Niner fan. There's a difference. Talking to people who are football fans, their teams just happens to be the Niners, but they're football fans. They tell me offensive line play is bad in the NFL.
It is.
I mean, let's be real. The Kansas City Chiefs lost. Basically, Patrick Mahomes, 2 losses in the Super Bowl have been because of his offensive line, if you think about it. When Tampa Bay beat him, and this year when from what I've heard from when Philly beat him. And so I don't think it's a surprise that they went out and they signed Jalen Moore to the contract that he did. In their mind, it's the equivalent of us going out and signing Charvarius Ward in the end of at the end of 2020. This was our biggest issue. It cost us last year. In 2020, it wasn't like it was a championship like it was, last year for the Chiefs. But yeah, I could definitely see the Chiefs saying, "Look, our offensive line cost us a championship, a chance at history, being the first team in NFL history to three-peat. I don't care what it takes. We're addressing the issue. Who's the best tackle available in free agency? Oh, there's Jalen Moore, who's been on the Niners for the last couple of years, and has been basically Trent Williams' personal backup.
Yeah, he's been his understudy.
Yeah, okay, shoot it, fuck it, tied him to $15 million. We got Patrick Mahomes. We'll figure out the rest of the roster. We got 15.
And that's the difference between something like Kansas City and the Niners is that they do have the best player in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
And Patrick Mahomes, you put Patrick Mahomes on this team, it's a completely different thing. You can afford to. I was on my old job. I was like, look, I understand we have to go to the bottom of the barrel sometimes with who we hire, but can we at least stay in the barrel? That's all I ask. You know what I mean? When you have Patrick Mahomes, when you have Patrick Mahomes, you can afford to go outside the barrel every once in a while.
Like so this is basically like this didn't necessarily get talked enough about enough last year when Chris Forrester said it, but he basically said like, so there's that thin line that you can ass. We're basically trying to our fucking offensive line on that thin margin right before they come absolute ass. Lord Jesus.
To quote Joey from Friends, that line is a dot. That's how far away it is.
Yes.
That's how.
Yes. It's almost like we're cursed by Daniel Brunskill. The fact that we found Daniel Brunskill, makes us think what? We could do it again. When in all actual reality, no, you're not going to get to Daniel Brunskills.
I mean, that's cute and all, Kenny, that he was losing to Jimmy G and Brock, but in the end, he beat Jimmy G and Brock. So, I mean, there you go.
Look, I will always go down of saying the game, the Super Bowl 59 or 58, I put on Kyle. The game. You feel me? Many different reasons. We've talked about that nausea. I will say this, and this is why I think the changes you're starting to see a lot on the defensive end. I think it started last year with, I don't think people realized, I mean, they talked about it, but don't really realize how big of a deal it was to get rid of Eric Armstead.
Everybody dogged everybody dogged Eric Armstead, but look at the run defense without Eric Armstead.
It was very clear. The Niners chose Jimmy Ward and Eric Armstead over Defoe. It's clear as day. It came down to it. They said, look, you can pay this $20 million to Defoe, or you could have Eric Armstead and Jimmy Ward. And we chose Eric Armstead and Jimmy Ward. We chose 2 for 1. I don't think that it can ever be listed. Oh, that part right there. But this is just what I'll go. And the last thing I want to say about the Super Bowls, it will forever be this. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like even Super Bowl 47. Oh, if Cap would have hit Michael Crabtree, or we would have gave the ball to Frank Gore. People seem to forget the Ravens had a possession right after that. The defense would have still had to go out and stop them. Super Bowl fucking 54. Oh, if Jimmy G hits Emmanuel Sanders, defense still would have had to go out and stop them. It's not like it fucking was the end of the game. The Chiefs would have had at least one more possession. I believe, didn't they have 2 after the Jimmy?
I don't remember, man. It's been so damn long. I couldn't
remember.
Yeah,
I think they had 2. I think they actually had 2 possessions after the Emmanuel Sanders, overthrow. Last Super Bowl, there's no ifs,
What's up, Red
ands,
Zone?
or buts about it. No ifs, ands about off the field on 4th and 1. You're champions. No, it's a fact. You know what I'm saying? We won the Super Bowl. You get off the field on 4th and 1.
I don't understand why Kenny's bringing up a Super Bowl that we lost. I think it's time to move on from that. We lost it. What's the point of keep bringing it up?
I agree with you. So the point is that as we refresh the defense, defense wins championships. You got Defo. It's just 2.1 is what Colton McKivitz is the roster bear bonus he's due. And before you,
I have no problem paying that out.
I was just about to say, before you're willing to go out and just say, "Oh, we'll draft an O lineman," like, of course, I want us to draft a tackle. Like really, I would not be. Or I'll put it this way: I would not be mad if we went out and we drafted a tackle. It would actually make me feel a lot better about the future
I think we have
of the organization. But this is the but I have, Jason. He's not gonna play. Everybody thinks that this rookie tackle is just gonna come in and play for this football team. Let's not forget, it took an injury. It took 2 injuries. It took 2 injuries for Dominic Puni to get his chance, and then they were like, "Okay, he's too good not to start." It just got to the point where it's like, "All right, bro, you're too good not to start."
But he might not start. He might not start a tackle, but he can start a guard.
I think so. He might not start week 1, but holla at me week 14. So I'm not opposed. This is what I'm saying. I'm not opposed to taking a tackle. But if you would ask me, what position should the Niners take that would have a bigger impact in 2025? Jason, 2025 is D-line.
Oh, yeah.
But
then again, that bar is so low because we've let go of so much defensive line. Like, there's nothing in the cupboard. There's like 4 things and some cobwebs because we've let everybody go because we're doing almost a complete rebuild on the D-line, which I don't understand why people can't see. It's plainly obvious.
And I mean, it's like I was telling you.
What's up, Miss Veronica? How you doing?
What's up, Veronica? Good to see you, beautiful. Thank you for showing up. And it was like I was telling you in the green room, Jason. You can't keep on having the worst special teams in the league. Say 2 favorite men. Aw. Who, us? Oh. I never heard that before. I feel special. You can't keep on like saying, "Hey, we got the worst special teams in the league," expecting to get better by rolling out the same exact players, right? Like that at some point that starts to become crazy. So it has to be. This just a little sneak preview to next week. I'm not going to go into full depth because save it for next week. Keep it in your pants. Let's call it a tease, gentlemen. Tease. Yes.
What's up, Mr. John? Enjoy. How you doing, brother?
Good to see you, brother. Thank you.
Enjoying the sun for once up here in Washington.
Yeah, it's been really not like I guess today or yesterday it was like in the low 80s or so, like maybe tomorrow or something. I guess actually started to get real nice out here. I'm like,
dude, it has rained or been shitty for like almost a month here. Today is the only day like this week. It's nice and sunny. And then we go like another almost week and a half, 2 weeks of nothing but rain in the forecast. So it's like the one nice day is today.
Oh, now that Devo's going to have someone.
Yeah, somebody to have a crush on.
Yeah.
Brock. You got Brock, Miss Veronica.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? You actually, you do got a Ricky Pearsall. Slick Rick. But CMC, of course, she's
this D line is going to be getting younger. I don't understand why everybody's freaking out about it.
And it needs to be, Jason. You'll have to show me that. I'm actually nervous. Please don't tell me it's super short. Don't tell me it's super short. I'm actually nervous. Not your type. She likes the chocolate. I forgot she likes the chocolate. Maybe BA. We'll find a nice young D lineman for you to crush on. It's super short. It's bald. Your hair
I
is
don't think she means
bald.
it. Let's see who.
No,
It's not.
no,
bald.
she wouldn't do that to me. She wouldn't break my heart. So it's very and it needs to be, Jason. We saw it in the NFC Championship game against the Lions. I think you could say we saw it in the Super Bowl. The sense that great first half, right? But what happened? Faded in the second half.
And then look at this year's
so
Super Bowl with the Eagles' defensive line. The Eagles' defensive line just destroyed Kansas City for the most part of the game.
And I think it's this is because, Jason, we've talked about it, and I think those whispers are going to start to become voices if this year doesn't turn around. I think if this year doesn't turn around and the D line starts to get to the D line that we act like we have, like that we act like is our birthright, when realistically it's been it was 2019 and Nick Bosa in 21 and 22, right? Was that dominant D line?
Yeah.
I think it's time to talk about Chris Eric. I think it starts the time to talk about the wide nine. If you get this core of young D linemen, right, where it's like, okay, Chris, you're this guru defensive line coach, right? That's what we act like. Best D line coach in the league, right? That's how we act. That he's the best D line coach in the league. Get him a young group of talent, and you don't mold nobody that you could say the Niners drafted that this is not over the level of Nick Bosa because Nick Bosa is generational, but just somebody, Jason, that you could point to and say that's a core player of the D line besides Nick Bosa.
But they haven't.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't. He has gotten nothing to work with, basically.
Okay, so
he's gotten cast-offs from other teams.
And Drake Jackson. So that's what I'm saying. So you give him, realistically, if you said, what do I want the Niners to take? Mimbu or I haven't gotten into DNs. I'll probably get into DNs tonight or tomorrow. I'm still trying to work out on tackles and guards. Or I'm sorry, tight ends and guards. But realistically, I want the Niners to take an edge or I want the Niners to take a tackle. Because I feel that from what I've heard and what I've seen, the D line, the D tackle.
It doesn't. Then you most likely want to trade down.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm not necessarily saying a player, but somebody like that, you got to. I'm not necessarily saying
we're not getting Green.
I'm just saying. You get an edge, you trade down, pick up some picks. What do we say? Shoot that into my veins if you can give me 6 within the top 100.
Yeah, I think we should trade 11, pick whatever we get afterwards. We should trade down from 43, pick and then pick, and then just stockpile those draft picks. That's what I've wanted us to do because, like I said, we got 11 right now. I want to see 15. I want to see 15 to 16 draft picks because we do have quite a bit of holes on this team that need filling depth-wise, not necessarily starting-wise. Obviously, we do have some starting thing, but the bigger issue to me is more about the depth pieces that we have.
Yeah.
We thought we had raised the floor last year. Looking at things, we had both thought that the floor had raised. The ceiling might not have been high, but the floor had raised. What happened?
Raised the floor of the football.
Yeah. It just came undone.
Yeah, that was our mantra all last year. How do you make the best football team in football better? You raise the floor. And that was our idea and everything like that. And I think what Josh said it best, and this is kind of how I felt through the off season. Why? I agree with you, Jason. I don't think it's like, oh my God, the Niners have 0 starters. I mean, even right now, at this very moment, and probably going to be the case until, the season starts, the Niners still have 7 All-Pros on their roster.
By the way, we have Jerry Rice and Dwight Clark days until kickoff.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. That's
it's a long time. It's 167 days.
See, I just need something. That's what I keep on hearing. The deep tackles, deep edges, meh. Cool. So they give me one of the best edges.
The top ends of the edges are really good, but they fall off really quickly.
They fall off really quickly. Real quickly. So you kind of need to move up, because because it's clear if you're wedded, if we're truly wedded to the wide 9, we need better edge rushers. Look, I like Euros Gross Matos. Yeah, Euros Gross Matos. I like him. I honestly was okay with bringing Leonard Floyd back, because I don't think there's enough. Unless we get one of the top tier edges in this draft, I don't think there's anybody in the draft, and we didn't sign anybody in free agency that's just going to roll out of bed and give us 8 sacks next year. So who's going to roll out of bed next year and give us 8 sacks that's on this roster right now?
Give me Sam Okawadu.
I fuck with some Samuel, bro. I do. I fuck with some Samuel.
Give me some Sam O and Evan Anderson, man. I want to see more of them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But we still need to draft, because
we still have to have people play those positions.
And when you look at the Niners, like I said, still 7 Pro Bowlers on this roster. Stephen Gilmore. I was about to say 2017 called and wanted its quarterback. Interior trenches, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's where I get nervous, is because, especially with O-line, because it's not like the Niners are the only team in need of O-line help. We saw that last year with some players that, look, whether they'll admit it or not, there were some tackles that they liked last year that just got taken.
You would think.
Like Rosengard. Like, okay, John Lynch just showed up to Washington's fucking pro day just for shits and giggles, huh? Had nothing better to do right in the middle of fucking the heart of the draft season. Our GM just has nothing better to do than show up to a random pro day for no reason. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. The Oregon. Okay, I didn't bring my notebook, but somebody that the reason that I'm starting to think like not D-tackle in the first round, barring some crazy shit, and Abdul Carter is there at 11,
Which I'm just throwing hands if he's still available at 11.
Yeah, I'm like beating people off to get that card turned in. Like before, like somebody wakes, like before whoever has 10 wakes up and realizes who's still on the board, I'm like knocking niggas out and shit before people start to realize like if he gets past 4, I'm like, hey Jason, we need to get somebody in Green Bay, cause like we need to start knocking some people out, bro. Like so he can start to slide a little bit more. Or Mason Graham,
But okay, well, think about this though. I don't know if you saw, all those guys are might be taking a little bit of slide because the Giants no longer need a quarterback per se. They just signed Russell Wilson a few minutes before we started the show. So I mean that takes one of them possibly off the board, or adds them to the board a little bit better.
Yeah, but you're talking about sliding all the way to 11, Jason.
Oh no, I'm just saying that's one spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Were you just listening to the Juice soundtrack? No, I had to fix the lights came out. Yeah, we did, and I totally think the Niners came out better on that, choosing
Yeah,
Travarius
I
Ward
agree.
over Stephon Gilmore.
I do too. I thought he was a better player.
Knocking ninjas out. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, definitely can tell it's off season. So yeah, unless there's something like that, there's the D tackle that's from Oregon. He's like a third rounder. I don't have a maybe it might be him. It might be the other one. It's like a little sleeper one. Obviously, you got the tackle that you may or may not have as your tackle. We will find out next week. But there's obviously him. There's a few people from Oregon. There's somebody at Oregon we're very interested in. Caldwell. Okay, yeah. There you go. That's who it is. There is somebody at Oregon we're very interested in. Like we came to Oregon's pro day deep. That wasn't by accident, Jason.
No, Terrence Ferguson. They've got a couple of good tackles up in Oregon.
Yeah, there's somebody.
Tight end. Let me see.
But what are we getting for that, Kenny? So if you're so tell me what I'm getting in your dream case scenario. I'm going from 11 to 17 or 18. Obviously, understanding it's trades with multiple teams.
Not necessarily. We could straight trade with Cincinnati. I think it's Cincinnati at 17.
Okay. Cool. I'm just saying the way
it's not necessarily about what you're getting in the first round with that. It's what you pick up in the third, fourth, fifth round.
Cool. So then tell me tell me what I'm getting. He says 11 we could get from to 14 from 11 and then turn 14 into 17 or 18. So he's talking about trading with whoever's at 14 and then trading again with Cincinnati or whoever's at 18. So what am I getting for that, Kenny? Thirds and fourths.
And you said thirds and fourths. You're going to get a ton of. You have two options. At that point, you can either get a bunch of options on that, or you jump up into the low 30s for picking up another blue chip player there. I prefer to stay in the third and fourths, but like I said, I don't think you're going to get a second, Kenny. You're going to have to trade back in to get another second. But that's an option. You can do that if you trade down like that. That's why I like that idea better than staying put at 11.
I just feel that there's not going to be a player available. And tell me if I'm crazy, Jason. There's just not going to be a player. There's not going to be a player or crazy for this. How about that? There's not going to be a player that's available at 11 that just makes me look at you and say, Jason, book your damn flight, baby. Let's go. I just don't think that player's available at 11.
Yes and no. It depends on what you want. Some people, they're diehard for Walter Nolan or something like that. Or they're diehard for Membu. Some people are still diehard for Kevin Banks. If you are dead set on those players, there's a good chance one of those players slipped down to you. I've even seen in mock drafts where Will Campbell slips down to 11. I don't know how the fuck that happens, but it's happened in there. Maybe some people don't value defensive tackles as high as we do because they have some other need that they want. Someone like a Mason Graham swipes down.
Yeah, I mean,
you're telling me you wouldn't be psyched to get Jalen Walker? He slipped to number 11.
I would. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they're. Yes, tell me. You say that I'm crazy. I emailed Captain the draft card that would tell me what we got.
Huh? What are you talking about? Email me what?
I think he's talking about he sent it to you to see what's going on with that.
Oh, if you emailed me anything, Kenny, I'm not. I don't get anything.
What's up, Jess? How you doing?
What up, Jess? How you doing, girl?
So I'm not
I
saying
can't
that
tell
there's
if Kenny's being
nobody.
serious or not.
You can never tell if Kenny's being serious, man. It's kind of irritating. I know I'm not the only one. I sent it to Faithful
Oh, we
Radio.
sent it to NFR. Okay.
Okay. Well, you say it to Jason. Okay, cool. So while Jason gets that, you know what? While Jason gets that, I almost forgot, but I'm doing better now. Why don't we go ahead and listen to today's sponsors while Jason looks for Kenny's email? If I can find it. Here we go. Yay! Founded and backed by the GOAT himself, Goat Fuel is a great tasting energy drink without the crash. Use our affiliate link below to save 10% on all Goat Fuel energy drinks. Help out the show and save 10% at the official Niner online store by using our affiliate link in the description below. Go to seatgiant.ca to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. The website again, seatgiant.ca, promo code Niner Faithful Radio. Follow us on social media at Niner Faithful Radio on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and TikTok, and at Niner Faithful R. Okay.
Kenny's talking about this. It's the Jimmy Johnson draft value board.
The draft, yeah.
Oh, it's tiny.
So, yeah, that is kind of tiny.
Yeah,
that's real tiny.
That's as far as quickly. That's the quickest one I can find.
That is tiny. Well, we'll put that together. We have now, unfortunately, I think I might have just got ripped off $25. Basically, we got PFF for a couple months. It's basically as it looks like right now. They might not do the draft guide. So we're basically paying. We're paying for 7-round mock drafts on Fridays, and we'll be able to get like player grades and stuff like that. So that'll be good, especially for like the review shows.
It is.
That's what it is. It is what she said. So excited for that. It's draft season next week, y'all. We made it. So we just got a couple more days for that. Jason, final thoughts before we get up out of here? Nothing else. I think we about covered it.
Ain't nothing happened. My dream of seeing us draft Kyle Williams and then having him wear number 10 is gone now that Mac Jones is wearing number 10. I thought that was the only way we can revive that number is we had to get another Kyle Williams in here to wear number 10 to make that a legitimate number anymore. But Mac Jones is going to, ruin my dream of that.
Mac Jones coming back still to haunt us all these years later. Didn't pick him, but yet still came back to haunt us. We were this close, Jason. This close to, exercising the demon. But it's close.
That's the only thing I got to say is, like I said, I really wanted us to draft Kyle Williams and then put him in number 10 just because, one, it would be funny, and two, just have him all of a sudden like have this Hall of Fame career, I think would be crazy.
Just against the Giants in the NFC Championship game.
Just all
he recovers a muff punt and scores a touchdown to like lead us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, something along those lines.
It'd just be like the greatest thing ever.
And unlike Ronnie Bell, maybe he could catch a pass.
Okay, so where does 14 come from? I don't get 14. How that's cursed.
Or so I know Mordecai changed his number to 14. Put your hat back on. No.
At Bronx 13. Yeah, but that's lucky 13, baby.
Unlucky 13.
Lucky 13. No, it's lucky 13. Let's go.
Steve was clowning on me in my bald head.
Damn. He said put a hat back on. That's kid voice. Damn. Damn. Oh, okay. I think that at this point, when people start to roast the co-hosts and everything like that, I think it's time to call it a week. All right, brother. We'll catch you next week then, bro.
Indeed. I'll talk to you guys on Friday.
Let Michael McCrockle Jones have the
No.
10.
I want it revived. I wanted Kyle
Yeah.
Williams to have it.
I'm telling you, just like it's just like I'm not gonna get off my high horse about this. All right, bro. We'll catch you next week, bro.
5 for tied to 11. One love.
Woo! All right, y'all. Fucking 10 is cursed. All right, y'all. Appreciate everybody. Jim Druckenmiller, J for you, all of it. Hey, you know what? Muhammad's on Sunday was all right. They are my rock stars. You're my rock star. Yeah, but he was 10 when he had the fumble. Really? I love to us both. Thank you. All right, y'all. I shall see y'all next week. We'll start our draft coverage and everything like that. I gotta go figure out some players that we have 0% chance of drafting. All right, y'all. Till next week. Faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners. Ricky got shot. All right, that's cold, bro. All right, y'all.